The measure of any society is how it treats its women and girls. The measure of any society is how it treats its women and girls.
We create
the smart, powerful, creative, accomplished young women.
We can fight.
I'm here because of you. I'm here because girls like you inspire me.
Buckle up, Buttercups. It's another episode of Surly Voices here on WMNF Tampa 88.5. My name is Liz. I'm one of your hosts. My co-host, Donna, joining me via Zoom. How are you, Donna?
I am good. I am in Washington, D.C.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy boots. I am here to try to help, and I was involved in actions to try to move the vote on the Affordable Care Act subsidy extension forward.
Right. Okay. And that didn't turn out so well, did it?
No, I don't even eat any good food either, so it's just pointless.
Oh, man, yeah.
Yeah. All right, what the hell? What are we doing? Yeah.
We could go to New Orleans, and we'd have good food, and we could protest against ICE, and so that's always an option. So,
and that's what I told the girls last night. I said, hey, I think that we just need to go on a crazy girls trip and forget about all of this for a while.
Yes.
Because we're getting on planes, we're 30,000 feet above the ground, we're risking our lives. For people who, and people intend to kill us with this legislation.
Right.
And so we should go and live a little before they are finally successful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, oh my gosh, there is a smorgasbord of things to talk about today. Is there anything top of mind you want to discuss, or shall we just dive in?
I think that we should cover like some of the shenanigans that went on around the ACA. I've got updates for that.
Okay.
But I'll be concise on that because I feel like, I don't want to spend time. I mean, I guess we can talk about whatever we want, but I don't want to spend time talking about things that people are getting top line in their news stories with no new angle, just a reading of information that people already have.
Okay. So Go ahead on then.
Okay, so this month, the Senate blocked and failed to advance competing proposals related to the expiring ACA subsidies. ACA, most people know as Obamacare, you guys, including the Democrats wanted, and some Republicans wanted, a 3-year extension on the subsidies. The GOP had something else in mind. And so the backstory on this thing, is that we extended these subsidies so that more people could have access to health care during COVID because it was such a big deal. People were really terrified. They were out of work. Many were disconnected from the jobs that had provided their health care. And so in came the government to say, oh, let's have an extension on the ACA subsidies. Let's add some subsidies to this, right? Mm-hmm. And so that people can reach this level. And so many Americans got health care that they were like, you know what, we're inching ever closer to affordable care for all. Now, there were complaints and it wasn't perfect. And many people said that it was still inaccessible. But with the subsidies, we were starting to come into range. So some 24 million Americans now receive health care through the ACA. And as fate and the devil would have it, the majority of those people are in Florida.
Oh.
About 7 million people in Florida, lots of small businesses. Small businesses have found wonderful pricing and access in the ACA for themselves and their small number of employees. Now, on December 17th, the House passed a GOP healthcare package that does not extend the ACA premium tax credits, which are set to expire at the end of this year, which means that, for instance, my own personal situation is I'm paying right now $870 a month for my insurance. On the 1st of January, that will go to $1,350. This is the reason why I do not drive a Genesis luxury car. Now, big twist. A Democrat-led discharge yesterday petition hit 218 signatures after 4 House Republicans joined it. That meant the House is now forced to take up a vote on a clean 3-year extension. Now might enter Mike Johnson. Yeah.
Scourge, the scourge of Louisiana, or one of the scourges.
Asterisk, Mike Johnson says it ain't going to happen. We're going home and we're not going to vote on it. But they did vote on a GOP bill to collect the money and maybe give it back to people in the form of an HSA. However, I haven't had an opportunity to do that because I walked 12,000 steps around the Capitol yesterday. Now, direct lobbying various representatives, including I went to Laurel Lee's office, whom you know we have an abundance of people running against in Tampa Bay. They were the kids were starched and they were ready. The kids had tied their ties like their dad showed them, and they were very serious and formal and gave us business cards and said that we could leave a voicemail or send an email to that number and talk to the healthcare people. In any event, which is why we need a girls trip because it's pointless. Unless Congress passes an extension, the enhanced subsidies will expire at the end of this year, and the fight shifts to the January floor vote, plus an uncertain path on the Senate. So I want to say this, right? You guys can get the rest of that stuff, but I want to say this. The thing that strikes me the most, and I spent a lot of time in DC doing various things. Even this afternoon, I am, meeting to begin the contracting process for the work that my personal company will do this summer. Now, listen, the energy in Washington, DC will tell you everything you need to know about the state of our country. So basically what you find are not many, but not all, a lot of privileged young people, Georgetown graduates, George Washington graduates are here. They get these jobs in public policy. They work for the PERGs. They do unpaid internships, and they find themselves walking the halls of Congress. These young people are already detached through their privilege and their parents' access, and by proximity, their own access. They are not in touch with the heartbeat of this country. Many have a lack of understanding. So where do you think I get that from? Okay, so Donna, how do you know all of that? Well, we appear in the Capitol. We're not wearing suits. I used to wear a suit when I came up here to avoid just that thing because I'm also Black, right? If you have the audacity to be Black. And I used to dress up when I come up here. I came up here to avoid that. But so imagine we've got on shirts that say "Save the ACA" in large letters, and we're wearing sneakers, and we've got on our Scullies that we came from outside, and we've got backpacks. These people, Democrat and Republican, look at us like they're terrified of us, as if we're the great unwashed masses. Yeah, I left my coat in a room yesterday. And I went back to get my coat, and the way they looked at us as if we had pulled out long guns and told everybody to get on the floor. Yeah.
It's another Black Panther moment in Los Angeles.
In the Capitol, right? We might as well have just pulled out long guns and said, everybody get on the floor.
Right.
So I'm sorry. Yeah. And so we were just like, hey, we left our coat in here. And the lady said to us, you can't come in here. We're filming, and we have 6 members of Congress in here.
Pardon you?
And I was like, bitch, what? Bitch, what? So that the whole idea, the concept of, and I think you guys know this, so please forgive me for the redundancy, that the idea that people work for us and not the other way around, that we're going to see the Wizard of Oz is more what it feels like, right?
Right.
And also, I'm going to pull back the curtain on this because I do it all the time. There is also a contingency of people who join the 501c3 leadership cadre because they too want to be important. And those people are not leaders. They show up in these spaces and they are not leadership material. I mean, we saw this with BLM, right? We saw a lot of that. I'm this or I'm this identity, and therefore I should lead. And this is
Right.
they were, crazy. And we entertained them because that's something that kind of took precedent at the time. Similar things happen in the nonprofit industry. So when you combine the people on high, right, on Olympus, who are forced to entertain a modicum of the unwashed masses, combine that with personalities that want to be important or be someone in the nonprofit sector, the nonprofit industrial complex sector, and you've got a recipe for disaster. And I'm going to tell you something. Every time I come up here, I feel a little nauseous because of the experiences that I have with some of these types on both sides of the line, which is the reason why I stay in the for-profit political sector. There's certain parts of that where you can go and hide and still do good work. I feel like as a celebrated field operative, as an award-winning field operative, I feel like I best serve the space in that way because I simply just do not have the personality or the tolerance for some of the things that go on. So what we're hoping for in all of this is that someone in that mix helps to move this vote forward in January. Mike Johnson did not want a vote because he said this. These are his words. He wants to spend this time over the holidays while the rest of us are drinking eggnog with rum in it. He is going to be working to defeat accessible health care for Americans. He said this with his own mouth, which is why, and I'm moving to the next topic now, the Vanity Fair spread.
Oh, yes. That I've been waiting for that topic to come up.
Right. Yes. And there's people online, I've seen them say that Teal looks like a naked turtle, that what Carolyn Levitt is what happens when your makeup artist hates you, when your injector hates you, and when you're a horrible person and it seeps through the skin. I thought Alfred Hitchcock was long gone. I saw that, what's her name? Susie
Wiles. Yes, that's how it all got started.
Yes. And I read an article called Wiles Goes Wild. Like she is definitely at the age where she has no filter.
Yep.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And the commentary around that spread was just wild.
Right.
So go for it, Liz.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, I mean, because not everybody spends as much time on the computers and then in the news as we do. But Trump's, what is her title, Donna? Chief of Staff.
Press Secretary? Okay, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Trump's Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles. And she sat for numerous interviews with Vanity Fair writer. And now, I mean, she said some pretty explosive things like, Trump has the personality of an alcoholic. That was, yeah, well, hit dogs will holler, and then, and then now, things were taken down to context, and the writer is like, I got tapes. So yeah, she sat there and went through every single one, and it's really illuminating. Usually Trump cuts the heads off of whoever's done him wrong. He hasn't done that with Pam Bondi, although she botched the whole Epstein debacle. And so far, Susie Wiles seems to be on the side of grace still as well. And so it's like, okay, this is not a hit piece. This is, they did interviews, they did photographs. And so it's like, all right, Donald Trump has the alcoholic personality. J.D. Vance is a conspiracy theorist, and he's only on Donald Trump's side because political expediency. So yeah, she goes through several of the folks. Oh, and Elon Musk is a ketamine addict, which everybody knows. That's not new. But it is unusual to see somebody who is entrenched with the Trump camp speaking out and signing her name to it pretty much. And so what do you think she was thinking? I mean,
Okay, the same thing she was thinking when she leaked some stuff for what's his name? Satan. I was going to say Satan. DeSantis.
you were close.
Just straight up Satan, no D, right? That she was going to. She leaked something from Santis. Santis assumed it was her, and they kind of had a parting of ways. She resurfaced on Trump's campaign. I think in the first campaign, she came back as his chief of staff in this last campaign. They call her the Iron Maiden. Now, this lady is I would say is a brilliant political operative, because she was able to bring Trump back to life and make and make people want to vote for him again. When it was thought that he was basically finished.
Right.
And so she has been the architect of Trump 2.0. And so I don't know what she has on these people, but a lot of the times when you cross someone like a DeSantis or a Trump, you're not allowed to live after that.
Right.
So I would suggest the circumstances, the deviation from their standard playbook suggests this, that Pamela, remember, Kash Patel was anti-FBI, Hegseth, anti-Pentagon, DeVos, anti-education. So he puts those people, RFK,
facts.
Facts. Fact-free existence this guy is living. That Pamela Bondi is somehow from Florida, been in the Trump camp longer than most people survive it, and has the keys to the kingdom as it pertains to the Epstein files. I am not going to say things that I don't know to be true, but there's a suggestion here that she's involved or has knowledge of the Epstein situation in some way that gives her immunity in the Trump Hunger Games.
Oh, Bondi or Wiles?
Both.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was another interesting thing. Was Wiles said she's actually seen the Epstein files, and Trump is in them. But the claim that Bill Clinton visited the island for 28 times or whatever was not true. So it was like, wait, how did you get to see the Epstein files and none of us have?
Right, because they're in the inner sanctum, the holy of holies, right?
Yes.
I mean, so holy, right? So inner sanctum that, like, in the Bible, they talk about sending someone in to where the Ark of the Covenant was kept, and people had to say that they were pure of heart. In this case, exactly not pure of heart, right? Corrupted beyond repair. And if you were lying, they would tie a rope to your foot so they could pull your dead body out, because you would be stricken by the holiness of this ark, right? And I suspect that someone like a Susie Wiles or Pamela Bondi may have entree into those spaces where others have failed.
Right. It's very interesting because we've seen so many people, fall along the wayside going around.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
let me read some. Oh, if anybody wants to join the conversation, give us a call at 813-239-9663, or you can email to dj@wmnf.org. And we've already got some messages. Ernie sent this one, and it says, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't Trump's health care plan 10 years in the making the same as what we had before the ACA? Just go out on your own and try to find something unless you have a pre-existing. Sorry. Let's see. Yeah, and if JFK Jr. No, not JFK Jr. RFK Jr. If he was so interested in improving the health of America, you would think that universal health care would be the first step, but no, we have to sit there and think that autism is linked to Tylenol use.
Right, because it's not linked to Roundup, Monsanto. It's not linked to people poisoning the food. It's not linked to people at the FDA being on the take. It's not linked to the food. None of this. What is it? The FDA. I said that FDA, and then there's the people who certify meat and vegetables, the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA. Okay. So that's the same organization. So all of those people have been complicit with corporations over the last 60 years or so to essentially poison the food supply. So the health care that we're getting, and the obesity and the diabetes and the heart disease and the hypercholesterolemia, the hyperlipidemia, and maybe even some birth defects, depending on how high the exposure was, cancer rates, all linked to what they call the SAD, the Standard American Diet, right? So RFK he's looking in the right direction, but his refusal to indict the big pharma and the food industry simultaneously is going to keep us trapped in this thing where the standard American diet leads to standard American healthcare, right? Heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, all of the metabolic diseases and cancers. The military and I can tell you, my husband has 2 active forms of cancer. And I can tell you this, on the questionnaire that they gave me when I went to the Mid-America Blood Cancer Conference put on by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, they have a special blank on that document that asks if the patient has been in the U.S. Armed Forces, because the cluster studies suggest that people are exposed to chemicals in the military industrial complex that changes their DNA in ways that create these rare forms of cancer and leukemias. So he ain't talking about none of that.
Yeah. Right.
Which makes him, to me, a crazy person.
Well, he was going in. I mean, it's not like he developed it while he was there. Let's talk to Julie in Tampa. Hi, Julie.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just listening, and there's a lot of crazy going on around, and I'm trying to gently educate people. As far as health goes, we're not fed good nutrition. We don't have easy access to organic. And the powers that be do not like us whistleblowers. I believe in sustainable living, organic, healthy. People around the world in other countries eat mindfully, and we're just force-fed all these chemicals it's in the water, and the food, and the air.
Yep.
And it's a daily battle just to be healthy. I'm 64 going on 65. And there was this flu bug going around currently for people across the country, and I have friends across the country. And one person got sick. They're like 75 years old, and their entire family got sick. And I'm just going to say the finger pointing that one person for getting sick. Anyway, I can't argue with crazy. So I'm trying to stay healthy myself, and we do have to encounter people, and I do wear a mask. I practice being mindful of others, and starts with myself and then spreads out to others. But I really appreciate your show. I'm a feminist. I'm an activist. I'm more maternal and all that, and just trying to navigate my way in this life. And I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Julie.
Julie.
All right, William in St. Petersburg. Hi, William.
Hi there. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I like your show.
Thank you.
The reason why I'm calling, I'm listening, and I do agree with what you're saying wholeheartedly. But I have to also say that complaining about the man in the Oval Office is like locking the barn door after the horse is stolen. And if people listening cannot figure out that comment I just made, then they're the people who are naive enough to have voted for him. So my thing is that I think it was a terrible mistake that most of the population or the electoral votes that we still have and been toying about getting rid of over the years, if they're the ones who got laid off, if they're the ones who are complaining about the price of groceries and the price of gas and the not being able to afford a home or an apartment, and if they voted for him, well, you know what? Maybe that's what they need to experience. That's the thing that I have to say.
Okay.
You know, I'm not a vindictive person, but you know, some
I
people
am.
have to learn the hard. You know,
I am.
They have to learn the hard way.
Right,
They
right.
do, honestly.
It's
They
like
do.
when a little kid
And,
wants to touch the stove, and you're like, "Don't touch it, don't touch it," and they do it
Well,
anyway.
maybe these
But
people who voted, and listen, I'll take you out for a steak at Burns Steakhouse if a lot of the people who call in and complain about him are the very ones who voted him in.
All right,
I mean, we all know that the world is full of hypocrites.
right.
And as soon as it does not go their way, then they complain about it and they say, "Oh no, I didn't vote for him." Well, you know what? The people who voted for him, were they voting for the Wizard of Oz, pulling all the levers and the strings that are going to make everything right again? I cannot believe the mentality of the United States of America that they voted for a convicted felon who's a womanizer who never.
A rapist too, because
Thank you. Oh my God! Don't get me on that one. We'll be on the show for an hour. Okay, I swear about that because you know a lot of my good friends I worked with are from Cuba, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, African Americans, and you know what? Please don't be a racist because America was built from people from all over the world. The Brooklyn Bridge, the seawall in Tampa. The roads coming to Florida, they were on the backs of people who came to the United States just to earn a living.
right.
And, you know, I know that, you know, I hope I'm making some sense to some of the people who are listening, and I hope people who are listening have the intelligence to understand what we're talking about. But I kind of wonder, because I live on a block that are full of people who voted
Don't
for
settle
Donald
for
Trump,
less.
and
Oh, shoot.
I swear, you know, they don't understand because it doesn't affect them. They have the money. This is their winter home in Florida. They don't care.
Right. All right. Got to let you go, William, because I got other folks in the queue.
Thanks, William.
Okay,
Thank you.
I thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye bye. Gary in Largo. Hi, Gary.
Yeah, great show. I was listening to you as I drove home from Bay Pines, VA,
Oh,
which is the best healthcare model that you could find. And I've had healthcare from the government in the Netherlands, the UK, and Canada, which was better than American private healthcare, but not better than VA healthcare. So that's the first thing I want to say. I told Bernie instead of Medicare for all, it should be VA care for all. Secondly, I don't think you should buy into the cover story of RFK Jr. or any of them, having come out of military intelligence and Russia intelligence. I can say that the goal of RFK Jr. and Trump, it's called accelerationism. They want to kill Americans. It's not just a consequence of their stupidity or craziness. It's a goal. They want the peasants to die. They want people who are old and infirm to die.
I believe that.
People who are on assistance to die. It's not incompetence. This is Putin's plan, as has been said by Russian leaders since Khrushchev. Your country is decadent and stupid. We won't have to invade you, if, for example, like they've done to Ukraine. We'll have you destroyed from within, and it's working.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody who still supports Trump at this point is a traitor to the United States. And I was just on campus watching veterans who got blown up in Iraq and Afghanistan, who are now waiting triple as long for their appointments, for their prosthetics, because Trump has laid off so many VA employees. The man is a traitor. If you support him, you're a traitor, and you're harming people who gave life and limb for their country.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gary. Now
Well, before we go on to the next person, I want to say this to Gary. I think I posted something the other day and I put behind it hashtag population control engaged. And it aligns with, Gary, the comment that I made earlier, that when we go to the Capitol, there are people in there who have $20,000 Hermes Birkin bags. And they have no care, whether they're Democrat or Republican, for the people that are coming in there in wheelchairs, in their Walmart stretchy pants that smell like cigarette smoke. They're just like, we want these people to go away. That's the energy that Gary is talking about. And that's the energy that people like Bill Gates, Peter Thiel, Stephen Miller, that's the energy they're giving. RFK.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The elderly, the infirm, the people of color. I mean,
Yes.
they don't want the white people to die. They want everybody else to die.
But they don't care about a lot of the people that I'm talking about, that are in their wheelchairs and that are infirm and they are HIV positive. They look at them the same way as they look at me. Right. It's like, this is like Nazi Germany 2.0. This is, anyone that we deem for social, cultural, or biological reasons to be unfit need to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Talk about
He's
a
right.
purity test right there. You're listening to Surly Voices on WMNF Tampa 88.5. You can give us a call at 813-239-9663, or you can email to dj@wmnf.org. And now, before I bring in our third host, now I'm going to give the Surly disclaimer. The opinions expressed on Surly Voices are those of Surly Voices and not those of WMNF. So welcome to Maria. How are you, Maria?
Hey, how are you? I'm sorry I'm a little late, but
Better late than never.
I guess I'm right on time.
Yeah.
Listening to Gary, and I'm like, complete alignment with what he was saying. I missed the first half of this show, but I don't know if it was mentioned earlier that our Secretary of HHS has decided to do single blind studies on patients. I don't even know that I can call them patients, but he wants to do these single blind vaccine studies in Guinea-Bissau, right? Like, we are now exporting our eugenics.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I read that yesterday.
Damn.
But I do think that it is consistent with what Gary is saying. Like, it can't be considered a war crime, but it is, I believe, nefarious, inhumane.
That was you.
But this administration.
Yeah, you faded out for a second. It all, remember the smallpox blankets? I mean, this is not a new thing. This is a tool of the colonizers,
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk to Russell. Hi, Russell in Tampa.
Yes, hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. Hey, listen, I'm listening to your show, and I am white, a Nazi, a traitor, and I want people to die.
Yeah, we said that
So,
about
yeah.
you, Gary, because we were looking. We had your information card, and we were just aiming right for you. We sent the antenna, your way to connect with your tinfoil hat. Yeah.
So I take it you are a Trump supporter then, Russell.
I had a decision to make between Trump and Kamala Harris.
And you chose Trump. Why?
Because he's not Kamala Harris.
What did you?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, but he was a convicted felon. So you chose somebody who's not a convicted felon. I mean, you chose the convicted felon over the non-convicted felon.
Are you really going to try and convince me?
No,
No,
we're not.
no.
But I'd like to. We're just asking
We
questions.
want to know why Trump was a better pick than Harris.
Maybe you can tell me why 35 million Democrats who are registered didn't vote.
It was more than that.
Yeah.
But
It was. Well, I'll tell you why, and we've said it on the show many
a million
times.
times.
The Democratic National Committee does not listen to the base. They're trying to pander to the right, and they are dragging us in a hole, and that is why a lot of folks sat out. That is why a lot of folks changed their party affiliation. The Democratic National Committee does not play fair. They do not listen to the base, and that is why we are where we are. We even have a lady that contacts us regularly to bang on us because we're critical of the DNC.
Well, listen, I appreciate you taking my call. Let me just say one more thing, and please stay with me on this. Don't hang up on me. I appreciate it. I like the fact that WMNF has these kind of call-in shows, and someone like me can call in. Your disclaimer is very hollow because when Gary calls in and calls people like me a traitor, a Nazi, and we want to kill people and all that, you go, I agree. And then 2 minutes later, you say, the opinions, I mean, you agree. That is your opinion. You can't disclaim that being your opinion when people call in with it.
Well, that's why we make clear it's us, not the station, who have opinions.
Liz, I think I can help.
Okay.
I think what's missing here. Hold on. So don't get off the phone.
Russell.
Don't get off the phone.
Wait, Russell.
Stay with us for a second. I think what's happening here, I think the problem is this exchange is missing a healthy dip in the terrain of logic, right? And reason. So when an entity, which is WMNF, is a radio station, and there are people who would agree with us in this mix, and there are people who do not agree with us. And so the opinions of the Surly Feminist are separate from the great ideology, the ideology writ large of the radio station. So we can say what we think in this space, but we do not speak for the entity from which we are broadcasting. I think that's pretty straightforward. So, for instance, let's take Charlie Kirk. Just take Charlie Kirk. I'm sure you understand that. So we'll still try it like this. Okay, stay with me. Charlie Kirk went to campuses, some liberal campuses, where one would assume that the overarching ideology of most faculty and staff would not align with his thinking. Same for Jordan Peterson and others of his ilk. The university does not claim to endorse these men and things like Black pilots that are not qualified or moronic Black women and his instruction kit on how to deal with moronic Black women. Not moronic women, not moronic people, moronic Black women. So, and then it created a whole new wave of young racists, the work that he was doing. However, I digress. It is not difficult to understand the difference between an entity and what free speech looks like in a space, okay? Free speech means you're able to call in and tell us, hey, I don't appreciate you guys calling me a Nazi. We don't agree with that. You think that's true. But WMNF is the place where we're allowed to do that. It is a place that we hold space. WMNF holds space for free speech because that is our First Amendment right. The other thing is when you say, I'm not a Nazi. I voted for someone who espouses Nazi idea. I voted for him. Now, this is where you're comparing apples to oranges here. You voted for someone who is a criminal, maybe a pedophile, who definitely is a nasty person, who may be mentally ill or have some other type of disordered personality. You voted for him, and all of the people that he put in place, eugenicists, folks who want to see population reduced, captains of industry who pay slave wages, who are behind the neo-feudal society that we're descending into and crashing our economy at great benefit to themselves while the rest of us hang private equity firms and the like. This is all something that this Trump administration not only endorses but advances. Now, and you voted for them. And you take umbrage to us saying that people who voted for someone who upholds ideas that are not what this country was founded in, okay, are not Nazis, and that they're caring and compassionate people who care for their neighbors and don't want to see the people who live on their street go without health care. You can't have both.
There's a reason the Democrat Party has an 18% approval rating. And
there is. We don't disagree with you on that.
Yeah, we totally are on the same side on that.
We don't disagree with you.
Can I speak for a minute? You just lectured me for 5 minutes. May I speak for a minute?
Go ahead, please. It's free speech. Here it is.
The reason you have an 18% approval rating is because of that 5-minute tirade you just went on where you insulted.
That's the reason.
100 million Americans. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We got to let you go,
tried.
Russell, because I got a queue full of folks.
You can keep doing this all you want, but it's not really winning you many voters or many elections.
Well, we're not here to win voters and elections.
Thank you, Russell, for your wisdom.
All right. So let us talk to Ted in Elfers. Hi, Ted.
What a bitter Betty that was.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
How are you?
I get to follow Russell. I am okay. I almost left for Canada and then was headed to Portugal. Last Friday, I was going to go get on a plane and be gone. And I was like, you know what? When I enlisted in the Marine Corps, underage, had to emancipate, took an oath to the Constitution, I'm not going to run away. And the reason I'm not going to run away is people like Russell. Russell is a voluntary, elected, ignorant person. He chooses to believe what he wants to believe, what supports his ideology, and negate and totally ignore anything else. And then he wants to call into the station and cry, oh, you hurt my feelings calling me a Nazi. Well,
right.
If the shoe fits, wear it. And, buddy, you got some perfectly fitting shoes.
All right, Ted, thanks so much for calling.
I love you guys.
Love you,
Thank you,
Ted. All right, Jim in Riverview. Hi, Jim.
Hello, ladies.
How are you?
I'm good. Listen, I listen to your show every week, and a lot of times I agree with you, and sometimes I don't. And the only reason I called was you had a gentleman just prior that was, you had asked him, why did you vote for Trump? Because he was a convicted felon and Kamala wasn't. I'll tell you, I'm only one person, but I got a lot of family and friends. I was a Democrat, and I switched parties to Republican. And I did it because it just seemed like the Democrats weren't doing anything.
Right.
And I know you agree with a lot of that,
Yes,
but the reason I voted for Trump, and I did vote for Trump, was because I wanted somebody that I could feel like safe with in this country, with other countries. I wanted somebody that believed in our country, and I could overlook him being a felon in order to vote for him, because Kamala, in my opinion, there's no way this country would have been safe with Kamala. Can you picture Kamala going against somebody like North Korea or Putin or something like that, they would eat her up. That was number one. Number two, she couldn't answer the first question. It was almost like an embarrassment. And the last thing I want to say is the gentleman that called in and said if Trump, what did he say? He called him a name.
People do that all the time.
Well,
so
Yeah, that's the whole internet right now. Yeah.
He said Trump was something, and if you voted for him, you are too. Well, I'll be honest with you. Oh, a traitor. He said Trump was a traitor, and if you voted for him, you're a traitor. Well, honestly, I believe that guy needs to look in the mirror, because if any traitor was president, it definitely was Joe Biden. That's the guy that switched me to going to Republican.
Yeah, well, there's no Joe Biden fans on this show.
No.
Can we pull back a little?
You know, I think a lot of people feel the same way I do. You can overlook some of Trump's faults.
No.
Honestly, I believe he's safe. I believe he cleaned up the border. And I do believe in time he'll get the economy back in shape.
Okay, Jim, so I got to let you go, but, I totally disagree, and, there's folks out there that believe in Santa Claus, too, but...
I understand.
Thank you.
All
right, bye-bye. Go ahead, Maria.
So the special investigator, Smith, testified before the Senate yesterday and talked about the crimes that Donald Trump could be indicted for were he not given a get out of jail free card by the Supreme Court.
Yep.
I mean, you could say a lot, and we have a lot. And I think that we have been fair, and we have said a lot, and we have criticized Kamala Harris. We have certainly criticized Joe Biden. We have definitely criticized the Democratic National Committee and our local Democratic party.
Right.
But what you cannot say is that Donald Trump does not kiss the ring of Vladimir Putin.
Yeah.
Like, that is where you have gone into, you talk about Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah. That is where you are just completely divorced from reality.
Yeah.
When he stood there, on numerous occasions, his first meeting in his first term in office, when he stood there with Vladimir Putin, right? Mm-hmm. And was completely conciliatory.
Right.
And then his second term in office, the first time he met with Zelensky, completely carrying the water for Vladimir Putin. I mean, let's just be honest. I think that we have demonstrated that we can be honest about the failings of the Democratic Party, but let's not pretend that this man could do anything but hand over the keys to the kingdom to Vladimir Putin.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me finish. I got 4 callers in the queue. I'm going to give y'all 30 seconds each because we're getting toward the end of the show, and we want to have time to play the outro music this week. Stephen in St. Petersburg, how are you?
Really good. Merry Christmas to everybody. I'll try to say this as quick as I can. Every president since Theodore Roosevelt, FDR, Harry Truman, Dwight D. Eisenhower, JFK, LBJ were for universal health care. Abraham Lincoln was for universal health care during the Civil War. Now, the reason Richard Nixon, of all people, was for universal health care. The reason that we don't have it is because the insurance industry, the oligarchs, the rackets, pay both parties to be against universal health care.
Right.
That's why we don't have it. And Bernie Sanders, I remind people, was destroyed for being for universal health care by the Democratic Party.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's where we are
All right.
today.
Got to let you go, Stephen, but agree with you today. All right, thanks.
Agree. Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye. All right, let's do Eduardo in Tampa. Hi, Eduardo.
Hey, good morning. Well, they're playing Christmas songs on the other side, and their big thing is the lady with the Charlie Kirk shirt. You probably heard about that at the Target store.
Oh God, no! I haven't heard about that. But
for another time, yeah. But my thing is went up to I think 169, and some people are going to be paying more. They're going to have, like in Chicago, they got high property taxes. I even heard electricity is going to be going up in the new year. I don't know how, and people now are spending gifts, and they're bumping that credit card balance all the way up. I mean, when you come to the new year, I mean, you're going to be in default. You're not going to be able to pay this stuff. I don't know what people are going to be able to do.
Right.
We need to have the same healthcare plan as Congress does.
Yep.
You think?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, got to let you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, let's talk to Sarah in Tampa. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, I'm so grateful that I got through. I'm really getting tired of hearing from all the boys, and all the men. And I do want to just say to you, Liz, to you, Donna, and to you, Maria, stop taking the bait. Stop defending what you're doing to these people that call in and call you out. Just listen to them. It's free speech, but don't take the bait.
Yeah, we kind of can't help it, but...
But, I mean, seriously, you're doing a great job. You're telling, you're educating those of us. I mean, I love what Donna shared about what's going on in D.C. with these privileged children. So, you're doing a great job, and you don't have to take the bait and defend yourself. And I will just close by saying my sense with the two guys that voted for Trump is they're very safe white men.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Am I wrong?
I would think you are not wrong. And therein lies the problem, I think.
Yeah, exactly. and they are the ones who will be safe with Trump. They don't have to worry about anything.
Right.
And so you're doing a great job. I know you don't need me to be an advocate, but don't take the bait. Just let them do their thing.
We'll try not to, but I can't make any promises.
Take care.
Thanks, Sarah. Bye-bye. All right, Marie in Largo. Hi, Marie.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. First of all, Trump is definitely Putin's little lackey. He is a danger to our country, and every single thing that man said a few minutes ago was absolutely, completely wrong. He's done no research. It should be inmate Trump. He is been a criminal and a racist since way back in the day with his dad, and should have been arrested numerous times for many crimes. These white-collar criminals get away with everything, but somebody like George Floyd dies for an uninvestigated $20 bill. They can all just take their ridiculous ideas about this criminal in our White House, and it's ridiculous. And you can defend them, tell them all they're wrong, take the bait, and put them in their place, because they absolutely are not using their intellect to do any research. And I support the Constitution. It is we the people, not we the men. And we need to destroy Project 2025 before it gets any further in our United States of America. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling, Marie. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
So we have come to the end. Frank is raising his finger. There it goes. Thank you so much for joining us on Surly Voices on WMNF Tampa 88.5. Please join us next week. I know I will be here. I can't speak for Donna and Maria, but I will be here, and I will have people with me if I need to.
Yes, I'm going to talk about the health care plan that Congress has next week.
Ooh, awesome. All right. Okay. So thank you very much, and have a nice surly day.
I like diamonds. I like stunning, I like shining, I like $1 million deals. Where's my pen? I'm signing. I like those Balenciagas, the ones that look like socks. I like going to the Tula. I put rocks all in my watch. I like texts from my exes when they want a second chance. I like proving